Hey everybody, this is Leanne. I am really excited to be back on Periscope. I haven't been here for a while. I am coming to you guys from my apartment, and I just finished up a really amazing interview with one of my experts for my upcoming event called the Healthy and Wealthy Entrepreneur. And it's a telesummit that is launching on November 2nd. And I'll tell you a bit about that towards the end of this broadcast. But today, I really just wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk to you about my favorite ways to reduce stress. And it's something that I know a lot of you suffer from, and I do too. And I just wanted to tell you a few of my favorite things that I do on a daily basis. Hi there, a few things that I do on a daily basis to help me with stress. If you don't know me, if this is your first time watching, I started my business about 2 years ago. I had been wanting to start a business for a really long time, and I knew that I wanted to help people with their health and with their well-being and their fitness and their nutrition, but I really didn't know how to start a business and run a business, and so it was really hard at first. Running a business is difficult, especially if you don't know anything. Hi there, my name is Leanne. Thanks for joining, everyone. Starting a business is difficult, and I didn't know what I was doing at all. So I found myself spending so much time just working on websites, working on blogs, working on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and I really wasn't getting any clients. And I'm sure many of you who are entrepreneurs can relate to that problem. And I was feeling a lot of stress. And this is something that most of us, well, all of us feel, even if we're not entrepreneurs. But I think for entrepreneurs, it's difficult because we don't have that balance between work and play. We spend lots of time at home, and so it's difficult to often to find. Could you take? No, sorry, I'm going to block this person. Hey, Asia, how are you? So I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my journey and tell you my favorite ways to reduce stress today. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, please feel free to ask me any questions that you might have, and I will be happy to answer them as we go, and also I'll have a Q&A at the end. So my first thing that I want to tell you in terms of reducing stress is to start and end your day with relaxation. And that's seriously the most important thing for me as an entrepreneur, is not starting to work as soon as I wake up in the morning. I'm sure many of you who are entrepreneurs can relate to that you wake up and you feel like you need to start working right away, but that's really not the case. And I found that the more time that I take in the morning for myself to really start my day calm and focused, that actually allows me to be a lot more productive during my day. So what I do when I wake up is I meditate for, not that long, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm still new to meditation, so I still haven't gotten to that hour, 2-hour meditation every day. But I do spend between 5 and 10 minutes meditating every morning. And I love to listen to guided meditations. Guided meditation is where somebody's actually talking you through the meditation. There's several ways of doing meditation, and you can choose what works for you. But for me, this guided meditation is amazing. I choose different ones based on, you have a 20-minute morning ritual. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, morning rituals are seriously the most important thing for me anyway, to help me with my stress. So I meditate for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I make my breakfast, and I sit with my breakfast, and I journal. And journaling for me has become a daily thing that I do. And I write about a few, I write about what's going on in my life, but I always start with gratitude, and I write about 2 to 3 sentences about what I'm grateful for. And is there an app that I use for guided meditation? I actually have a coach who provides meditations for me, but there's several apps. There's Meditation Oasis is a really, really good one. And you can find apps on iPhone on the App Store. If you just type meditation, you'll find a whole bunch. If anyone has any other meditation apps to recommend, you can just type them in the comments box, and they'll appear on the screen. So yeah, journaling is my second thing that I do in the morning when I wake up. I like to start, as I said, with gratitude. And so I like to write what I'm grateful for, about people or things or whatever it is. I write 2 to 3 things that I'm grateful for every day. I could write more because there's always so many things that I'm grateful for during my day, but I like to start really just with a few. And then I choose either a topic or a feeling or something that's going on in my life that I just want to process a bit more. And I start writing about it. And for me, I'm a writer. I process things through writing. I also process things through talking it out with people that I love. But for me, the best thing is to write. So I write, for about 10 or 15 minutes as I'm eating my breakfast. I take my time. I think, I process what's going on in my life, how I'm feeling. If I have, pain or some emotion that's coming up for me, I really try to work on that. And it's allowed me to really open up my emotions and my feelings and tap into how I'm feeling throughout the day. So journaling for me has been a really, really great experience. And then, so meditation, journaling, those are my things that I do in the morning. And then sometimes I go for a walk, depending on what time it is. If it's not time for me to get to work, sometimes I go for a walk in the morning and enjoy the sunshine. It's getting really cold where I live now, so interesting morning. Thank you. So it's getting pretty cold where I live now, so the snow is going to be here soon. So I probably won't be going so much out for a walk in the morning, but I do love to get outside often. And so my morning routine is an amazing way for me to start the day. It usually lasts between 20 and 30 minutes. And then I like to just get ready for the day, do my dishes, put on clothes, because I know a lot of us we don't put clothes on when we're entrepreneurs. We just keep staying in our PJs, and I don't think that's a very good thing to get used to. So I get dressed and I get started with my day. I talked about earlier on starting and ending the day with relaxation. So ending the day with relaxation, I actually listen to this. I also have a meditation that I like to listen to at nighttime. And it's something that I do, that I've started doing actually in the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I listen to a meditation right before I go to sleep. And it's actually a sleep meditation. And it's one that I found on meditationoasis.com. They also have an app. It's a free app, and you can download that. They have several different kinds of meditations available. And the one that I like is about 18 minutes long, and it's called Relax and to Sleep. And it really is just a guided meditation that takes you through a relaxation exercise. And so that's been a really, really great way for me to sleep well. I also like to use essential oils. And just going to answer this question. What about morning urgent calls, emails? How do you de-stress back? So I actually don't get urgent calls. Most of my business is me calling a client. And so people don't have my phone number. And I also don't check emails until I'm ready to get to work. So if you want to start your day without stress, give yourself, actually what you can do is you can keep your phone on airplane mode. And I forgot to mention that's something that I do. I put my phone on airplane mode as soon as I get to bed at night, and I keep it on airplane mode until I'm ready to get to work. So, and urgent, I don't get urgent calls and emails that can't wait like an hour or 2 in the morning. So it's really not a problem for me. I guess if it's something that you're worried about with your own business, there's ways to de-stress. You can go back through meditation. You can do some breathing exercises. You can, go outside, take a break, call a friend, dance, sing, do whatever it is that makes you happy and whatever it is that relaxes you. So that's how I would handle some urgent calls or emails. And so in terms of the other tips that I really like to reduce my stress, yeah, you're welcome. To reduce my stress during the day is get outside in nature. That's something that I found is so important. Even if it's cold, you just bundle up and you go outside. And even if you're just outside for 5 minutes, it really just allows you to take in that fresh air, get more oxygen, change your environment, change your headspace. And it's fantastic to get to feel better and to feel less stressed. So, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here with some of the other things that I wanted to share with you. So the other thing that I wanted to share is focusing on one thing at a time. And to me, that is something that I have struggled with a lot because I'm someone who thinks that I'm a multitasker, but honestly, being a good multitasker, it doesn't really exist. If you compared your productivity doing one thing at a time versus doing many, many things at a time, you would see that when you focus on one thing, you're so much more productive and you produce much higher quality work too. So single pointed focus is something that I really recommend to my clients, and it's something that I do myself. As an entrepreneur, I find we get bogged down with all the daily things that we need to do in our business. And what I've started doing is actually blocking out time with certain tasks where I actually am only doing that one thing at a time. And also, I've built my business so that I'm working on one event or one project at a time. So, I'm working on a summit, which is a 21-day event that I've been working on for about 60 days now, I guess, and it's launching next week, so I'm really excited. But that is all I'm working on right now. Like I'm not doing webinars. I'm not doing Facebook ads. I'm not doing videos. I'm doing Periscope today because I just finished some interviews and I was excited to share some of the tips. But I don't do any other big projects. I'm not working on an ebook. I'm not working on sales funnels. I'm only working on my summit. So working on one thing at a time, I think is so key to being productive and getting high quality work and reducing your stress. Because when we look at our list of things that we need to do and we see a list of 20 things, we're like, well, where do we start? You can start working on all these things at the same time. So what I actually would recommend is that you take that list, you choose 3 things a day that are super important that you need to get done that day, schedule them into your calendar for that day, and then move on. And that's it. Once you finish those 3 things, you can do other things or you can party. I mean, yay, I got my 3 things done. So, take that with a grain of salt. Like so many people have different ways of doing it, but for me, it's choosing 3 things a day, and then just making sure that you schedule those in, working on that one thing at a time that you've scheduled for that period of time, and moving on when you're done. So that's one other thing. And the other thing is make sure that you do write things down that you have to do. For me, I would wake up in the middle of the night thinking about everything that needed to get done the next day. And that was really stressful. And, the stress in my life was just building up when I had so much on my plate. But when you start writing down the things that you need to do, it becomes less scary. Like the mountain seems less hard to climb. And so I think writing things down is the most important thing, writing tasks down and breaking those down into actionable steps that you can take every day to move you forward in your business, in your life, in your health, whatever it is. Writing those goals and milestones down and in actionable steps that you schedule into your calendar to make sure they get done, that definitely helps you to reduce your stress. I have another question. Is it a good thing to say no to important clients if you're busy? So this is a really great question, actually. I don't think it's a good thing to say no, but your clients are people and they will understand if you're busy. So, what you can tell them is, I'd love to help you. I have some time today from X to X, or I only have time tomorrow from this time to this time. I always give myself some flexible time during the day though, in case certain things come up. I will not extend my workday, but I do have an hour where I take a lunch break. So if something important comes up and I need to deal with it, then I have that time. And I always schedule email and social media into my calendar. So 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. and 12 to 12:30 are my social media and email times. And so I often don't need the 30 minutes on there. So what I will do is if something urgent comes up, I'll go and I'll check my email and I'll let them know, like, I have time from this time to this time. Your clients are people too. They're busy. They understand that you have a busy schedule. And so it's totally fine to give them a time where you can help them. And they understand that it's not necessarily going to happen right away. The other thing that I would recommend with clients is that you give them, when they say you have a contract, which I always recommend you do have with clients. If you have a contract with your clients, let them know the turnaround time for important questions or queries, so that they know that you have, say, a 24-hour turnaround time or 48-hour turnaround time, and that if they need something done from you, they need to make sure that they get the deadline right. So if they have an important deadline that they need a blog post written by, tomorrow, they better have already given you the content yesterday if you have a 48-hour timeline. So that's a really great way to give yourself boundaries and to have boundaries with your clients. So does that answer your question? Okay, great. Perfect. So we've talked about some of the tips. Great, thank you. We've talked about some of the tips that I use in my daily life to reduce stress. So we talked about starting and ending your day with relaxation. We talked about getting outside. We talked about writing things down. We talked about single-pointed focus. And then the last thing that I had was exercise. And somebody actually wrote exercise down earlier on in the chat, and I didn't have a chance to respond, but yes, exercise is a huge part of reducing stress. One of the things, though, is that I have found for myself and for some of my clients, my health coaching clients, is that when you're really stressed, the best kind of exercise is relaxation exercises, like yoga, Pilates, even just going for a walk. And I tend to try to stay away from really, really high intense cardiovascular exercises like running or intense high intensity interval training workouts, or anything that's really, really intense cardiovascularly, because when you're stressed, you already have a lot of adrenaline going through your body, and I just find that it amps up that adrenaline. So that's just my personal opinion, and I mean, you can take it or leave it, but it's definitely something to consider if you find that you're not able to relax after exercising intensely with cardio. Yoga is one way that I love exercising, and I actually am going to a yoga class tonight. I try to go about twice a week to yoga, and then the other times I go to the gym. I love to do Zumba, and I love to just do weights, or even just going walking outside, running. These are all things that I love to do. The other thing is to make sure that if you're doing cardio, that you are trying to make it as far away from your bedtime as possible, because of course cardio really excites you, and it increases your adrenaline, and that will, some people, it actually allows them to sleep, but the majority of us can't sleep afterwards if we do exercise too close to bed. So any kind of exercise that you want to do before bed, make sure that it is relaxing. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you guys today in terms of stress reduction. I'm hoping that I'll be doing Periscope a few times a week now to share my tips that I have, and I will be sharing some other kinds of tips, not only stress, but also nutrition, energy, things related to business, because I'm moving more into lifestyle coaching for entrepreneurs. And so I'll be talking about productivity, building your business, being successful as an entrepreneur. And all of these amazing topics are going to be covered in my upcoming free telesummit called The Healthy and Wealthy Entrepreneur. And it is free to join if you'd like to sign up for that free 21-day event. The URL for that is www.thehealthyandwealthyentrepreneur.com. So it's thehealthyandwealthyentrepreneur.com. And if you can't find the URL, which you should be able to, but if you can't find it, you can always go onto my bio on Periscope, and the link is actually in my bio, so you'll be able to just go on there directly. So feel free to sign up for that event. It is going to be fantastic. There are, oh my gosh, so many amazing people on there. There's like 23 or 24 experts talking about business and health and nutrition. It's amazing. It's going to be so awesome. So make sure you sign up at www.thehealthyandwealthyentrepreneur.com. And I will see you guys soon. So have an amazing day. And we will talk soon. Take care. Bye.